Hey, good morning there. Hey there, Brock. How are you doing? Everybody see the screen good or and loud and clear? Mic test. Can you hear me okay? Testing one, two, three. Hey there, Adrian. Okay, good. Everything's ready. Yeah, super. Sound is good. Well, thanks for being here. Where are you coming in? Where are you from there, Brock? Indiana. I gotcha. Sounds good. Hey there, Casey. KM, Adrian, we've got a good group here. So thanks for everybody joining in. Hey, Dale, Irv, Randall. Okay, we'll get started here in just a couple minutes. Oh, so you're near Vancouver, huh? That is so beautiful there. Vancouver. Yeah, I've been there. It's super beautiful. Hey there, Salvador. And where are you coming in from? Salvador. Yeah. So I am located here right in Central Texas, Austin, Texas. Mexico City. Ah, well, thanks for being here. One of my really close friends is from Mexico City. He's here. Actually, he's moved to Austin now. I got him to move to Austin. He likes it so much he stayed. Yeah, I've met this guy, um, Guillermo Gonzalez, and we met about 4 years ago at an event, and we got to be really good friends. And so, kept telling him to come to Austin, come to Austin. So finally, he came, and he liked it so much he's moved here now. We'll get started shortly. A couple things too. I've got a brand new site that I just brought on, which everybody's here, joining in today. So we'll go over that and go through a few things. So I'm really excited about that. It's going to be a kind of a build a community of traders and stuff, so we can chit chat 24/7. So it's going to be a really cool setup, and I'm really excited about it. And so I also want to kind of introduce that today. So we'll go through that and give you kind of a tour. So thanks again for being here. All right, I think we're ready to roll here. One more minute. Got a number of people still popping in, so we'll get started here just about a couple seconds here. So, trying to figure out how to create a user ID um, you, for the current site that you're on. If you have any questions, you can email support at Power Cycle Trading. Let me give you that. So this new site that we just set up has a lot of bells and whistles, and so I'm still trying to kind of navigate my way around it as well. So kind of bear with me. All right, well, let us get started. So just want to say thank you so much for everybody being here today on this Saturday. And I haven't done a live workshop here in a couple of weeks, so kind of excited to be back. And so I thought it'd be a good time to go back through, how I go about, try finding the trade setups that I send out and send to members, and that we, go over in our alert service. And so I'm going to go through that today. So kind of how to find the better trades, the trading patterns I use, tools, and the option strategy. So again, thank you so much for being here. So most traders tend to be drowning like in information, but starving for structure. So, traders, a lot of times you're going to chase trades, you react emotionally, you overcomplicate the charts, you never really develop a consistent process. So that's why, one thing I wanted to do is kind of host this, workshop today to kind of help you bring it together and show you what I do. So in this session, I'm going to go through and show you how I filter out the noise and identify high probability trade setups, even during extreme market uncertainty. So sit back, grab your pen and a pencil, your notepad, a drink, and let's get rolling. So we're going to go through this today, my kind of the selection process I use, and then also I'm going to show you, give you a tour of the new site that we just opened up. So pretty excited about that, and we'll talk about that as well. So just a little background on myself before we get rolling. I started my trading career back in the 80s with a company called Coastal Corporation. And at that time, they were a large integrated oil company refining, in the U.S. and in some of the other countries. And so they had a huge trading operation to supply the refineries and also to trade for profit. So I was very, very lucky to, get my foot in the door back there in the 80s. And they actually had a training program where they had trained you to trade either crude or crude oil products and things like that. So I got into that program. They sent me down to the refinery they had in Corpus Christi, Texas for about 3 months, and stayed there and just kind of learned the foundation of oil trading, just, how the oil came in, they process it, turn it into, mogas, gasoline, fuel oil, that kind of stuff, and kind of really helped you to build a foundation of oil trading and how it, all kind of works and evolves around the cycle of bringing the oil in and putting out the product. So spent about 3 months doing that, and then ended up in the shipping department, chartering tankers, scheduling things like that, the operational side. Finally got on the crude desk on the cargo side, which was super exciting. I wasn't there long, and they sent me out to Singapore for a couple of years, which was a fantastic experience, and traded Asian crudes and products out there. So it's a fantastic learning experience. And then in the mid 80s, I got a really big, huge opportunity to go to work for a company called Transworld Oil, which at the time they were the largest oil trading company in the world. It was Transworld, Fibro, and Mark Rich were the three, enormous oil trading companies. And so that was a super exciting time in my life, and spent about 17 years at Transworld. 16 of those years in Bermuda, which was a corporate headquarters, and then ended up running the international trading desk for about 10 years out of Bermuda. So that's where, really got into everything. We traded, not only just all the energy markets, but we traded foreign exchange, all the different futures markets, and started trading options back in the 80s. So, really a fun experience. And then I, opened up Power Cycle Trading and been enjoying trading and, teaching, educational stuff to traders and investors on options and directional trading. So that being said, let us get started. So the following workshop presentation today is purely for educational purposes. Any stocks, futures, or options mentioned does not constitute advice and should not be construed as a recommendation. So let me know if you have any questions. So I'm just trying to get used to this new system of platforms, so kind of bear with me. Hey there, Audrey. So let's get started. So, as you know, one of the most, time consuming and expensive tasks in trading is finding high probability trade setups. So over the years, I gradually combined what I learned from when I was, getting paid. My employer would, pretty much pay everything. But now I had to do it myself. So I developed my own kind of research process and the resources I used for that, developed my own proprietary trading indicators that I use for all my directional trading, and then also developed a strategic option guide for selecting which option strategy to use, when, and for the best results. So this all evolved into a process that finds the best trades and the best option strategies to use based on the current market environment trading. So that's kind of what I'm going to step everybody through here today. So, what I recognize, though, over this, journey that I've been on for 4 decades is that, it really comes down to your best and most profitable trades all have some kind of underlying characteristic to it. So if you take those trades, even your winning, but even your losing trades, you break down and see what you did right or see what you did wrong, then you can come up and develop your own process. So that's basically what I did. So I defined what I was doing right in the winning trades, the different things, characteristics that were all kind of the underlying kind of theme or foundation of it. And then from that, I developed my own repeatable trade selection process to identify and find these types of trades, and kind of broke it down into 13 steps. So, and it ended up in kind of a systematic trade selection process. So that's what we'll kind of step through here today. Now, first off, though, let's take a market review. So, as of the close on Friday, the equities finished up near record highs again. Again, everything's being driven by that AI-related technology stocks and the kind of the shortage of the chips that are needed to build out these data centers and things like that. So it's been really driving the market up, especially on the technology sectors of the chips. So we had the S&P, now close over 7,500. It was up 0.2%, on Friday. So this was the 9th consecutive weekly gain. So the longest winning streak that we've seen since 2000. Hold on one second. One second here. Sorry about that. So anyway, we've been on a huge winning streak there, and then the Nasdaq is up over 26,000 on that. So again, continuing to benefit from that huge AI demand and the build out. Now we finally are starting to get that crude oil a little bit of a pullback there, from the supposed process or progress being made with the U.S. and Iran, but we'll see where that goes. But the market's looking through it. We're more at the end of that cycle than at the start of it. So a lot of that the bad news is already built into the market. So the markets are kind of looking for things to open up, and we'll see. Hopefully that happens. So WTI came off pretty strong, and that helped bond yields pull back a little bit. Helped kind of deflate the deflationary or the inflationary impact that the markets were seeing from the oil. So that helped on the bond yields pulling back a little bit and also gave a little bit of a bump to the markets as well last week and over the last couple of weeks, actually. So that's kind of a little bit of summary synopsis there. So, what I like to do and what we used to always do before we even had all the good technicals and the charts, we do what I would, call the top-down market analysis. And what at that point, back before we had all the great charts and stuff that we have currently, we would just look at all the different fundamental indicators and impact of data that we had coming in from our different offices around the world, and we would try to, formulate a macro big picture, and then break that down to a weekly or a long term, and then to a medium term kind of time frame of what the markets are doing. But what I like to do now is I just take the charts. I typically will use the S&P 500 as kind of the reference part of this, and break it down from there. So kind of looking at the macro big picture, I start out with a monthly chart, on the S&P 500 SPX, which is kind of what all the markets are kind of referenced typically. So if we look at the S&P 500 SPX, what I like to look at is, where are we within the trend? So based on the moving averages, are we above or below? And then I also like to track trend by the momentum. Are we in a, positive momentum or negative or kind of neutral? So if I pull up the charts here, let me pull it up and I'll put this onto the monthly, which is, again, what I consider kind of the macro big picture. And if we look at this trend, we've been in a pretty nice uptrend here for a long period of time. So, going back, basically, I mean, you can go back a lot further, but we really started breaking back above back in 2023. We had that pullback here, and that 2022, we had that pullback, right? That's the last kind of bear market we had, was this 2022 period. And then you can see we had a nice rounded bottom. And then what I like, these indicators that I've developed, they're based on momentum. So it really helps you to kind of follow the market or market trend based on momentum. So if you've been in the trade room, I say just, follow the momentum, and that'll kind of guide you. So if we just look here at the S&P 500, the monthly time frame, and we look at the momentum, you can see here we started getting that negative momentum here coming in back early 2022. So we had these are cycle reversals on a monthly. Then we had the negative momentum, that red arrow. And so then you see it goes negative below that histogram, which is zero. When it's above zero, it's positive, and below it's negative. So this is a big macro monthly, and then you can see it started to really pull back. We came in, we broke back below that 21 exponential. I like to use the 21 exponential as kind of my trend. I track the trend with that, moving average basically. And so we had a pretty big sell off, and then we started to kind of just bottom out here. And then finally we started getting some positive momentum. We had a reversal here. And then we had the positive momentum and confirmation with momentum 2, which is a slower momentum measurement, and then started to base and started to have this big trend back up. And then the AI rage kicked in last year, kind of the mid part of the year. You can see it just started trending. So we've been on that kind of mission since last year for the AI build out. And now we're starting to break to new territory. We broke back above this 6,900 to 7,000 mark, and now we're marching up towards 8,000. We're now at 7580. So a lot of the analysts are now moving their targets up to 8,000 for the end of the year, and it looks pretty healthy right now. Earnings were fantastic this last quarter, and so just from the AI build out, things are looking pretty good there. There's always something around the road that can deflate this or make it stop. But right now the trend is up. So as you can see on the macro trend is up. It's very positive there. And then the next thing I like to do is break it down to the next tier. So this is like you're flying at 30,000 feet. So then let's kind of move down to the a little bit lower down to kind of see what's below us. And so to define that, let's move to the weekly time frame, which is the long-term time frame. And again, we're still in a pretty good picture there. You can see the trend is still really nice. We broke above this kind of 7,000 and had a really nice trend back to the upside. And now just kind of maintaining that 8 exponential moving average here and just trending up from there. So positive momentum, cycle 1 and 2, looking good there. Above the key moving averages, above that 21, above the 8. So when you're above the 8 like this, it's really a nice and sharp trend. So we've got the big key supports now, areas of the market to be kind of watching for will be first this dash green line. That will be the prior month's high. So that's coming in at about 7,200. So that'll be the first possible pullback there. And then to the 21 exponential here, about 7, call it 7,000. And then the big support area here will be this 50 simple moving average on the weekly, which is the going to be a big major support area too. You can see all that price action through there. And then the next is to break it down to the daily or medium term time frame. And you can see again, once we broke that 7,000 area, it really started to trend, tracking that 8 exponential. We had a little bit of a consolidation back here, but we've got momentum now, going positive again. So the trend looks pretty good here. The only thing, the difference here is that we are starting to get overextended, in some of the tech sectors. So, the market's been, not everything equal. There are certain pockets that have had all the gains, and a lot of the market's kind of been left behind. So, when we look at, the areas to be aware of any potential concern, it will be just, getting a little bit too extended. So let me pull up and I'll show you what I'm talking about there. One second, if I can find, here it is. Yeah. So if we look at just this is the NASDAQ 100 futures. And so these are extreme range bands. And so when we look here, the weekly time frame, that blue band is like based on an average true range, and that's like 3 ATR. So when we get above that kind of the 3 ATR, that's pretty stretched out, and that's weekly. So, not to say it can't go, much further. It can, because you can see this is my cycle reversal indicator, and the moving average here is in yellow. So this is a 14-period moving average of this indicator. So it still has some room to the upside. So you can see when it really gets extremely stretched, that the moving average is above that percentile of over 90% overbought. So there's still some potential upside here to go before this thing is really too stretched right there. So that needs to get above there. So you can see back when we've had it above this 90% percentile here, that's when it tends to kind of pull back. All right, so there's still potential for more upside, but again, it's getting very, very stretched. And that's kind of a quick look here on the weekly time frame, and then just kind of break it down to the daily or medium term. You can see it's just been super strong trend to the upside, just really, trending above that 2 ATR, and just kind of a straight trend up. So that's the main thing. When you look at that versus, just say even the S&P, it's you can see the difference. We'll just put this on. Let's put this on the S&P futures. You can see the difference here on the extreme range bands, and the difference here. So here's the weekly with the S&P futures versus the NASDAQ, it's getting overstretched, but not nearly as strong or stretched out as the NASDAQ. And then when we break it down and look at the Russell, you can see a big difference there as well. So, it's obviously in the tech sector, the chips, et cetera. So if we put in SMH, you're going to see a big rocket to the upside there as far as getting pretty stretched out. So here's the weekly on that. And you can see how stretched and extended it is, but it keeps pushing higher. So it's hard to fight the trend now. So just stay with it, but just be aware of that. Move that out. Okay, so just kind of wanted to show you that. That's my only major concern right now is those sectors, the tech sector, getting kind of stretched out. All right, so that's kind of a review of that I wanted to point out. Now, the other thing is in the oil side of things. In the oil market, that's been obviously front and center here, but now we're starting to get a little bit of a pullback there. So let me just pull up the chart here and we can kind of look through some support areas that will be areas that you want to be aware of. So I'm going to pull up the July crude contract. Let me pull that up real quick and we'll kind of take a quick review of that. So we've got here, I'll put it first also to the weekly. You can see the big picture here. So we had that big, huge move. Now this is the July futures contract. And so, you know, we had that big move up to about 105 on WTI. Now we're pulling back. So the first area of support, we're moving probably back down into this area here. You can see it right coming in about 80, you know, call it about $80 right there. So this is the, you know, from taking this swing low back here, you know, December of last year to that recent high there. We're coming in right now to the 3/8 retracement of this, you know, low to high. So you can see right where it stopped right there. See all that price action as well. So that's a really good area of support, initial support. Now, the next level down, which we'll probably see, we could see this next week if there's you know, more development within the Iran-U.S. ceasefire agreement. Maybe, you know, get it closer to peace agreement, which I still think Iran's going to, you know, drag their feet as long as they can. Wouldn't be surprised to see the U.S. have to start bombing them again or something. But here's the next area of support would be down around the 82, the 80-82 level. So that's going to be the 50% retracement. Right here, you can see right there, that's coming in around 80, and you can see all that price action support right there through there as well. And that's also the 21 exponential moving average. So really good area of support at 80, okay? So we've got this first line of support, 85, 80. Then the next area, if that breaks, will be down to this 618, 74 down there. And then, you know, we started off down here at 65. So it really broke out at 65, and then it's kind of gone in increments of $5 up. So that's a look there on the oil side. So just kind of mark those levels down as, you know, for its potential support to the downside for right now. Now, the next thing is that if we look at the market rotation, so I always like to kind of check to see where things are headed during the day. And, you know, here's just a heat map of where things were going out on Friday. So this is the S&P 500. And you can see things that the, you know, where the market was rotating money back into was basically back into the software sector. So, you know, we had a good move, really good, fantastic move up on Microsoft. And I'll show you the trade that we did, an alert trade on Microsoft. We did the trade on Microsoft. I guess it was Thursday. We set up a butterfly. And then, you know, Friday, the thing ripped to the upside. So we made an adjustment and rolled the butterfly up. So I'll show you, you know, what we did on that. So that's something I'll show you here in a few minutes. But you can see we had a big move on a lot of the different software companies that have been really crushed, you know, earlier, you know, the last couple of months. And so they had that was where the big movement was. And then the other sectors were kind of, you know, just, you know, really, you know, kind of all over the place. So the big hot areas, you know, really was that software sector, and that's where all the gains were pretty much coming from. You know, also Micron and Broadcom as well. And then if we look at the bigger rotation picture, if you look at the last 5 days, you can see again where all the money's still just pouring into the information technology, you know, the chips, and then, you know, consumer discretionary. So you can just pretty much see, right? And then the money was flowing back out of where? Energy, right? So that's kind of where we are as far as money rotation. So what I like to do is when I'm looking for the different trades, you know, I'm going to follow where the money's rotating into or out of, and then I can go into these different sectors and then see what's the specific stocks that are, you know, moving the most. And then I'll, you know, look at those and I'll put those in my scan and scan those trades each and every day, a lot of those different names, and look for certain patterns that I'm looking for, that I like to look for these trade setups that I like to send out for, you know, alert setups. So we'll go through and talk about those here in a few minutes. Now, the next thing is if we look at the market internals, these are also getting extremely bullish, I guess. But also, when you get your put call ratio, the number of puts being bought to calls starts to fall too much. That's usually a lot, kind of a sign to the markets are getting a little bit overdone. Now we're not down to levels we've, too extreme. You can see back here, this was December back, this was 2024. We had this put call ratio got super low, and we did have a pullback then. So you can see this is the red line there, and then you can see the market started to pull back. And then you can see the markets here got the put call ratio. The markets were getting extremely, worried, and more puts were being bought to calls. You can see it got spiked up there, and then you can see the markets bottomed, and then we had that trend up. So this is a good indicator to follow, to kind of get an idea of the internals there. So this was on a weekly time frame, and you can see, how that can really help you to kind of navigate the market. So kind of be aware of the put call ratio. It'll help you out a lot. And then the next thing is, the VIX, which is the volatility index of the S&P 500. And, we're at lows, but, we've been, lower back here, just pointed out back here. This was back in 2025. We had that super, super low VIX, and then we finally started moving back up. So we're breaking back below that 16 level, but there's still potential it could pull back even more. But anyway, be aware of the VIX. But that's currently a kind of a review there of the some of the internals that are nice to follow to help you navigate the markets. Now, the next thing is selecting the best swing trade setup. Based on a couple things I look at. First off, what is the market cycle trend? So, are we in a downtrend, uptrend, sideways, or extended? So right now we're in uptrend, but we are getting extended, in the Nasdaq and some of those sectors within the Nasdaq. But in general, we're in an uptrend based on the S&P. Okay, so the trend is up. Now the market condition is, the market condition as far as uncertainty. There's always going to be some kind of degree of uncertainty in the market. So it's best to kind of quantify what that uncertainty is. Is it high, low, or extreme, or kind of right now it's kind of medium low, I guess, if you'd put another level in it. But we're low. Things are looking better. We're in a ceasefire situation with Iran. The chip sector is on fire. The AI build out, data center, everything. Everybody says, okay, we're in the first inning, et cetera, et cetera. Dell just came out with just unbelievable, earnings with tremendous demand. So there's a lot of things pointing to this, has more legs as far as this AI build out this situation there. So that's kind of obviously driving the market. And then the next thing is your, relative strength, momentum. Okay. So I always like to know, okay, follow the momentum, follow the momentum. The momentum is up based on those momentum indicators that I just showed you here a few minutes ago. When we looked across all the different time frames, from the monthly down to the daily, the momentum is currently still up. And then the next thing I always like to look at are certain specific chart patterns. So from all the years of trading the markets, I've kind of put down together 5 different types of chart patterns that I define and like to look for. And we'll go through the chart patterns here in a minute to show you those, what I look for. And then what is your trade duration, your time frame? What are you looking for? Are you looking for just intraday trades? Are you looking for more of a swing trade where you're looking to be in and out of a trade within 1 to maybe 2 weeks? That's kind of the swing trade time frame. Or are you looking for trades more of a longer term kind of an investment run? So what is your time horizon on the different trades or different, stocks or ETFs you're, looking to do? So what that is. And so that's a key component of any trade selection that you're doing as well, your time horizon. Now, before we get a little bit too far into the workshop here today, I wanted to show you the kind of a little bit of what we're going to be showing and highlighting here and opening up and launching, which we just launched yesterday, was our Power Cycle Trading Forum membership. But within that, there are 3 levels of membership to this new forum membership that we just started, that I just started at Power Cycle Trading. We have level 1, which will be the lowest entry point. That'll be like basically $20 a month, $19.97. And then we'll have level 2, which is $47. And then level 3 is your highest level, and that's what we call Pro Trader. Now, the level 3 with this Pro Trader level, this gives you the trading alert service that I've been running here for a number of years. So this is going to be included in level 3, what we call the Pro Trader level. And with this level, you'll get all 5 of the alert services that I send out. Now, with this, you'll also then get the all new Power Cycle Trading Forum membership. So put this link in here, and then you can see what if you want to join up and do the level 3, $97 a month. This is the link to use. So let me give you that real quick. I'll put that into the chat box here, and then click that, and it'll pull up a payment link. And then a little bit later here, I'll go through all the the benefits of that, and any questions, let me know. Let me get this link real quick here, and then we'll move on, and then we'll come back to all this towards the end during the Q&A. So here's the link. It's just powercycletrading.com/level 3. And let me put that in here for you. Okay, so put that in. Now, copy, paste that, or you probably could click it. Yeah, you can click it, and then that's going to pull up the payment link. Okay, so, okay, don't. All right, so this is going to be pulled up. So if you click on that link or copy, paste it into your browser, you're going to see this pop up. Now, then you can see it's going to show you kind of summary of everything that you'll be getting with this level 3. So this level 3 is called the Pro Trader Alerts. And so with this level, this will be $97 a month. Okay, so this is a founder's price because, we'll in the future, we'll be raising the price, but to get everything started on this new forum site that I just launched yesterday, we're going to have it at a kind of really low entry bar here to start out with, so $97. So for this, basically, you're going to get everything, all the different benefits. But I'll show you brief kind of a summary of those here in a minute. So this will show you exactly what would be included in it. And there's a lot of great stuff. So first off, you're going to get my top trade idea videos every day after the close. You'll be, a member of the community. There'll be a 24/7 chat room that you can go into, talk with the other members, et cetera, trade ideas, et cetera. Then you're going to get, everybody within level 3, you're going to get my, part of the benefit will be my Get Started Trading Options Today course. That'll be given to you, right out of the chute. So that'll be your course. And then every week, we'll do a weekly live Q&A that's recorded. So this will be every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So this will be a group, coaching session that I'll be, hosting on that. Then you'll also get my Fibonacci price target mapping course will be part of the level 3. The alert service, that'll be part of the level 3, 4 to 10 or 12 or more trades every month. We've been doing quite a few each and every week. You'll also get my cycle reversal as part of this, and this is available for Thinkorswim, TradeStation, TradingView. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to do a rotating course, typically an advanced option course every month. So that'll be free to everybody. Could be butterflies, calendar, synthetic. So for this month of June, it's going to be the option strategy guide course. So this will give members just a lot of great stuff for $97 price. So super low entry point there. And so what you're going to get then would be the alert part of it. Part of it will be part of the alert service. And so the alerts, I have the 5 different ones that I will send out depending on the market conditions. But we do a lot of calendar diagonals. So those are the types of alerts that can be sent out. It could be a butterfly or long condor. Do a lot of those. Could be breakout reversal type trades, so credit spreads or just debit spreads. Could be pinning trades where we use butterflies or calendars. So that's another kind of category. Or it could be a selective earnings trade. All right. So there are 5 different types of trades that I'll send out. So those are the 5 services. But you get all of those packaged together, and all it is $97 a month for that. Plus, in addition to that, you're going to get the new Forum Club membership. So that's, we'll go back over this in a little bit, but I wanted to put that out there. So in case you had to take off early, you could still take advantage of it. Now, here's just a quick summary of, the results, unaudited results for the alert service. So currently, for 2026, we're running a really good high winning percentage, win break-even rate of over 84%. So far for the year, we've had 52 trades closed out, 38 winners, 6 break-even, 8 losers. And then you can see from inception, I started my first part of the alert service back in 2018. So this has been going on for quite a while, pretty long history back there to 2018. And then, I've added the different alerts. The first alerts that I started sending out were like debit spreads and credit spreads, but since then I've added more. And now, so we have 5 different types. But since the inception, we've had over 1,000 trades closed out, 725 winners, 79 break even, 214 losers. So the win break even rate running about 79%, kind of a summary of that. So been very, very solid, very, very consistent on that over the course of doing this. And so that's what you're going to have access to with the level 3. Let me see, there's a couple of questions. Yeah, so what your monthly trade and return goals, you'll see some of the trade setups that we do. Sometimes the trades are some huge winners, right? But what I always try to do is keep the losers very, very tight, very low risk. So the trades that we do set up, that I send out, that we set up, or that I set up, give the setups to, they're very defined lower risk type trades. That's one of the things I look at first. And then the next thing is I want to see a fairly decent return potential on those types of trades. So, I don't send out a whole lot of credit spreads because those are just going to be chipping away just a little, 5% here, 3%, 2%. The problem with credit spreads, in my opinion, is that you can have 10 credit spreads you have 9 that are profitable, that maybe make 2 or 3 or 4%. And then you have that one that blows up your whole account or takes all of your winners away from you. So I like to do low risk type of spreads where you have potential for a bigger return on that spread, but keeping your risk defined. And then if you're an older member and you're still, with the alert service, you're just going to be rotated over into level 3. You'll keep your alert. So if you went on a program that I had where maybe you bought 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, you're still going to get all that. Will continue, but it'll all be through the new service here, or the new platform. So that's what you'll get. So nothing will change for you. You'll just keep getting the same stuff. You just won't have to pay the $97 a month until your time's used up. So that'll be how that works. And we'll continue to use Telegram. So nothing's going to change there. And is there a yearly? No, I don't have a yearly. I just want to keep everything month to month right now. We'll see, where things go, but I don't want to do anything too longer term. I just kind of want to make it month to month for right now. Okay. So that's a kind of the summary there. So here, level 3 is what I'm showing you here today, powercycletrading.com/level 3. Again, here's that link if you need it one more time. Okay. So put that in. And then, I would highly recommend this. You're talking 97 a month. And for that, you're getting the alerts plus a lot of other stuff, which we'll go through here in a few minutes. So now let's take a look through the next steps. So now step 1 through 5 is first, okay, we want to identify market cycle. What's the market condition? And what's the kind of the relative strength or momentum of the market, that we're looking at, or the specific stock or ETF that we're looking at potentially for a trade? And then what is the time horizon we want as well? Yeah. So question here. Yeah. So past members will still have access to your courses, but what's going on there? And we've sent out a couple of emails. We're probably sending out another one, but and I appreciate everybody, buying all the courses in the past, whatever. But the current course platform that we've been using for all the different many years that we've been doing this is being phased out and migrated into a different system. And this because of this transition, the access to the current platform is going to be only available. I think we're going to end it mid part of June, so in about a week and a half. All right. So what will happen is that we've sent out an email already. Go through, go through any of your old courses, check them out, see, use them as much as you can. Now, if you come to the end of a course, a lot of members have been, courses maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years old. So what we're going to do is that if you're still, needing the course, wanting the course, we'll give you our newest edition of that course. So let's say let's say you bought my butterfly course 4 years ago. Well, I'm going to give you my brand new course, because we're going to migrate out of that old platform. We're closing it down. So all of the old courses, we're not going to house those anymore. Those are going to be gone. And then if you still want the course, a lot of members have had the courses, a lot of members have gone. So they're, no longer, even, in the picture, but we'll give you the new course. So just, let us know, we'll work with you. No problems on that. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. So here to be as flexible as we can with any old members, and I appreciate everybody's time spent with us. And then make sure to, sign up for the new level 3 if you're not already, there. Now, if you're, already with the alert service or whatever, we're going to merge you over here to level 3, and you're just going to continue on at no cost, through, whatever you have left on your time. All right. So any other questions? Yeah, please let me know on that. So that's kind of how we're approaching it right now. Yeah, that is correct too. So, well, the indicators, once you have the indicators, you have access to them. I don't charge you a license fee or anything like that. So once you buy my indicators, they're yours. So there's, you don't need access, right? They're already yours. Does that make that clear? I mean, those indicators, you've already uploaded it, downloaded it, to your platform. Those are your indicators now. Now, we'll have those indicators, though, for sale still. If you want the indicators, if you don't have them, they're still going to be available to you, on the new platform that we just launched yesterday. And I'll show you that here in a few minutes. All right, so let's go through the next couple steps. Yeah, so please, any other questions, feel free to, put them out there. So that's also part of the reason I wanted to do this workshop here today. So if you do have, questions on the old, what we're doing in the past versus what we're doing currently, this is a good place to kind of, go through everything. So again, based on, the markets, we're in an uptrend. And so, a lot of different ways to measure trend up, down, or sideways. But what I tend to do is look at, to track trend, I look at moving averages, and then also, the momentum. Is the momentum up or down? So that's going to help define the trend. Now, when I look at, trend and moving averages, I use 4 key moving averages I like to follow to track trend, and to define areas of support resistance. So, when I'm looking at a daily time frame up to the weekly, monthly, kind of swing trade on up, I'm always going to want to know where's my 8 exponential moving average. So this is a faster moving average. I want to know where the 21 exponential moving average is. So these are the two key exponential moving averages. Then I always want to know where the 50 simple and the 200 simple moving averages are as well. So to me, these are the 4 really key important moving averages to use and follow. Yeah. So, question referring to the indicators already purchased that haven't uploaded given the upcoming change. Well, there haven't been any changes. So, yeah. So, well, yeah. Just you need to go if you've got the indicators, go into our site before we close it down. The old site, go in there and upload those indicators. Okay. So you have another, probably 2 weeks, I think, until we shut it down. I think we're gonna think the date's maybe the 13th of June. So just make sure you go into the site and, get whatever you need, upload your indicators, get them all done before it's shut down. All right. If you have any questions on that, again, you can let us know at support at Power Cycle Trading, and we'll be happy to help you on that kind of transition as well. All right. So these are the key moving averages that I follow to help me track trend, breaking trend, things like that. So that's a really important part. Okay. The next thing you always want to do is, where are we within the market condition? Again, there's always going to be some kind of degree of uncertainty. Right now we're, kind of a lower tier uncertainty. There's always uncertainty, but kind of a lower tier because we're in a ceasefire. The market's kind of looking through, thinking that there's more potential for something to be resolved between things escalating. Hopefully that's the case, right? So that's, pull back oil. That's kind of pull back bond yields, which has helped. And then we've got the AI boom going on. So the only thing that I'm a little bit concerned with, the major thing would be just the extended NASDAQ and some key sectors of the NASDAQ, right? Now, so to quantify, you just look, what is high? What is high uncertainty? Well, when we get to earnings season, that creates a lot of uncertainty, right? What are the earnings going to be? What are they going to advise, as far as forecast after, things like that? The AI extreme. So that, at some point we're going to get some, we've had the jitters on AI. Are they getting the capital return on these big, huge, build outs of the capital expansion? It looks like these key players are. And then, where are prices? Are they extreme highs or extreme lows? I mean, now certain things look to be at extreme highs, but the market's still piling into a lot of these sectors based on price to earnings metrics and things like that. So it's just a really crazy time. And then, the trade war, recession, or, FOMC. So these are factors that go into creating, uncertainty and things like that. And then we've got the extremes, which we've already kind of experienced already, the big shot across the bow when that war kicked off. It created the oil crisis, the global inflationary fears, things like that. But a lot of that's then already priced in the markets, right? And the markets are a forward-looking mechanism 6-8 months out. So that's kind of where we are now. So the markets have kind of calmed down, and the markets are looking, to ride that trend to the upside. So then it comes down to, finding the best selective trades, and then defining your risk. So if we do have something that pops out, you're not going to be exposed and hurt, when things do shift. That's the way I like to look at it. I like to look for very selective trade setups. If I don't see it, there's always another trade, but I also like to define my risk and look at risk first. And then if something does happen, I know, okay, if this happens, I'm going to lose, or you're going to lose, if I send out this alert this much, et cetera. But, it's going to be contained, and we're going to, move forward based on the other, trade setups, things like that. And then the next really key thing is momentum. I always like to say, okay, let's follow the momentum. So trading any type of market environment, it all comes down again to price direction, timing, and then managing your risk, right? So you're going to make your money off the price direction and your timing of your entries and exits, and then your risk management. So, to me, what I've found over the years of trading is the best trading tool for signaling price direction and market timing comes down to momentum flows. Now, the momentum indicators that I put together and use, what they do is they will measure strength or weakness, and they look to do it over multiple different time frames. And by doing that, that kind of really creates a dynamic trend following indicator that you can use to follow trend. And so you're basically following momentum. And so by doing this, the momentum flows is going to help you to identify new price cycle trend early. And then that's going to also really help you to validate the strength or weakness of that trend based on the multiple different time frames. If they're like, let's say you've got a daily time frame that has positive momentum, but then if you break it down to lower time frames, from the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 30 minute, and they're all positive, then that's going to validate that strength of that trend is even better, right? So that's going to then make you more confident in that trade that you may have on, and that's going to help you to better maximize your profit based on that strong momentum across multiple different time frames. So very, very key ingredient in the trade setups that I like to look for. So that's a really key factor. Now, the next thing is your high winning probability type of chart pattern. So over the years, I've kind of defined and put together 5 different patterns that I look for based on the markets and what they give you. And so the patterns that I've defined to look for are 5 different patterns, but the one that really that I like to focus on when I see it is what I call or refer to as the volatility squeeze or volatility compression squeeze. So this specific pattern then can be within these other 4 type of patterns: the cycle high reversal, cycle low reversal, and then the cycle low retracement reversal or cycle high retracement reversal. So if I see within these 4 patterns maybe a squeeze where you're having a tight consolidation, that can be a really powerful, trade setup for a breakout up or down for a quick movement, out of those other types of patterns. All right. So those are what I look for. So for example, kind of in summary, what a compression squeeze is when you identify a security in a price period of price consolidation where the price is really starting to coil in a tight pattern. And then all of a sudden it has an explosive move outside of that pattern, either up or down. So it's kind of that momentum breakout. So you've been, consolidating sideways, and then boom, something pops it up or down. And that's where the momentum can give you the potential direction of that breakout, either up or down. And to me, it's like a lightning in a bottle. So if you could bottle that and do it every time, man, you have some fantastic trade setups. So that's a really great pattern. If I see that, that's the one I like to look at and focus on. Now, this setup is also great for your swing trades, those medium term 1 to 2 weeks, or can even be great for your day trades, or even timing into a bigger trend edge. And remember, time equals risk. So the quicker you're in and out of the trade, the less risk you have, because time does equal risk when you're trading. Things happen, right? And you never know when it's going to come out. So that's a very, very key there. Now, here's just a really good kind of overview summary of what the compression squeeze looks like. And this is on Netflix, and this is a daily time frame of Netflix. So you can see my indicators show the squeeze. They've coded in what we call the volatility squeeze by these dots. So you can see those little dots are green or purple, and when they're green, the momentum is up, positive. When it's purple, the momentum is negative. So you can kind of see the color code. Now, when you see that cycle, that high and the low, when you break the upper part of it, that's your breakout, or the lower part, that potential break to the downside. But then momentum is giving you the potential direction. is up. So you can see here, it broke to the upside. Then it moves back up. No, I'm not going to have the scanner for wealth charts. No. Wealth charts, I've got the indicators for wealth charts, but I'm not planning on have the scanner. Thing with the wealth charts, they're great, but I've got it's a partnership, with Wealth Charts, so I can't, really give, good discounts or anything there, like I can with Thinkorswim or TradeStation or TradingView. So that's kind of where we are. All right, so then you can see here again, we get another volatility squeeze. See the dots, okay, and then again, momentum is cycle 1 and 2 start popping to the upside, and we get that breakout. Where's the breakout to the upside based on momentum? Then we get another move up. Momentum starts to pulls back, and then we have a cycle reversal here. We have positive momentum cycle 1, confirmation 2, and what happens? Breaks again, another momentum squeeze trigger to the upside. All right, so that's how momentum really can help to navigate and give you direction for your directional move up or down for these types of patterns. And for these types of trades, I love to use a debit spread or maybe a long condor. Sometimes the calendar diagonals are really good ones to use in that situation. Now here's another part that cycle low reversal. So this is when the markets have really been hit hard to the downside. So broken below all the key moving averages, just hugging the trend, the extreme range bands down. You can see that's the 8 exponential moving average. It goes up there, fails at that 8, fails. Finally, we get a cycle reversal, that purple arrow. Then we get a cycle momentum shift. Cycle 1, fast momentum, confirmation with cycle 2, and my momentum upside cross confirmation, and then a break of a key moving average or fib level, trends back up. So that's a cycle low reversal, or a bear to bull reversal. You might hear it called that. All right, so that's I love that pattern when I see that pattern. Now here's your cycle low retracement. So this is where you're retracing into a key moving average. All right, so here's like a good example. This was gold with a really big 200-day moving average or 200-period moving average on the weekly. So just consolidating above that, and also the 200-day moving average. So see it consolidating, and then it's in that squeeze, and then so that's your cycle low retracement reversal off a moving average, and then breaks out to the upside. These are also great for using debit spreads, or maybe even a butterfly if you've got a certain upside, overhead ceiling target, or the condor, the calendar. So these are kind of how I break it down, and then apply a certain option strategy to it based on that pattern, and maybe based on the market conditions of what the markets are doing as far as uncertainty of the markets, things like that. Now here's the other patterns, the cycle high reversal. So this is kind of where we are now. And these are the harder cycles to call, because you can just keep grinding up. But here's just kind of a look here. We had a cycle reversal here on this example of the NASDAQ 100 QQQ, and got up here. We had the cycle reversal here, arrow there, cycle reversal here, and then we had momentum start to shift down. And we started breaking these key moving averages and started that trend developing to the downside. So that's the cycle high reversal, where it's above all the key moving averages and then breaks back down below. So that's a great pattern there. And this pattern, I love to start off with maybe a call credit spread out of the money, up here, because even if it turns sideways, you're going to do great with that credit spread, right? Or we might do a put debit spread, or we could do a butterfly targeting a downside key moving average like the 50 or something like that. So these are all the things that I'll look at when I'm putting together, a trade setup that maybe I'm going to send out to members, things like that. These are all the things that go into that kind of decision. Now here's the cycle high retracement. So this is where you're moving from a movement from the downside of the market up to a key area of overhead resistance. In this example, XLC, the this was a 200-day moving average. So this is a huge first time up the 200-day moving average, either first time up or first time down to it. It typically does not break and go through it. So this is a really key moving average. So this is what is referred to as, I call, a cycle high retracement reversal. So it's coming up here to that 200 and reversing off of it, breaking back down. All right. So recycle, failure, reversal. Again, these are great for credit spreads. When you're up here, sell the out of the money credit spread. It could turn sideways or go down. You're in great position for that to work out. Or, put debit spread, butterflies, targeting a certain key, maybe moving average. So that's another really great pattern that I look for there. Now, the next thing, is the scanning. So, you've got to, be able to find your trades before the herd. Now, this is where, the alert service really is going to be beneficial to everybody in level 3, because you're not going to have to comb and scan through hundreds of charts every day or every night. I'll be doing it for you. And so you just, sit back. If you get the alert, then you can take a look at it. If you like it, put it on. If you don't, you don't do it. But it's going to give you a group of different stocks or ETFs that you can, then sort through yourself to see if you like it. And so that's the other thing that level 3 is going to give you, is that there are 3 things that I'm going to give you. Is that first, every day after the close, I'm going to do a number of different scans that I do, and then I'm going to give you on the platform after the close. So let's say Monday night or something, or Monday afternoon after the close, I'll put these lists together, and then I'm going to load it, put it on the site for level 3 members. So there will be a list, and sometimes it could be 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 maybe selective stocks that I think look interesting, that you might want to look at and look at for the next day or week, longs and shorts. And then I'm also going to do, for level 3, a video to give you even more information on those lists of either longs or shorts that I sent out in the list. Okay. So it'll be a video kind of review of the different stocks or ETFs that I've found based on my scans, and I'll do the video review. So that'll also be put on the site every day after the close on level 3. And then the third part is just, a very selective alert trade sent out, to the members. So that's, going to help you, so you don't have to be constantly, combing through hundreds of stocks. So I do a number of different scans. So one scan I like to do is looking for the volatility squeeze. So I've got a scan that I've coded up for, looking specifically for this kind of pattern. And so here's just a list from, Friday's close of things that were still in a squeeze that I'll look at. And then I'll go through the charts and see if they're looking to potentially break out or still in that squeeze pattern. Then the other thing I like to look at is a scan I do for reversals. So these are things that showed up for reversal plus that are in a squeeze. These were some that I took a scan of on this past Friday on a close. Just for example, you can see a couple things popped up. Now, I'm not sure if these are trades I'd look at, but this is the first place I start. But like American Express, this is a reversal pattern that's also in a squeeze. Citibank, it's a reversal pattern, also in a squeeze, things like that. So this is where I'll start getting a group of stocks, either long or short, and then I will put together this list. I'll comb through it and pick out the ones I like the best that might have the best potential, and then I'm going to put those into the level 3 area on the site for level 3 members to look at each day after the close, plus with a video to highlight the ones and tell you why I like them the best. So it's going to give you a lot of good information on those specific stocks or ETFs that I find that look interesting for potential trade setups. Now, the next thing is 10 through 13 is finally, let's set the trade up, entry levels, et cetera, and then what option strategy to use. Now, with the alert service, a lot of members currently and in the past, they just want the trades, right? And then they do their own thing. They're just gonna, you can buy calls, you can buy puts if it, for a downside trade, or you can buy the shares or whatever. But when I send out alert, I'm always going to also send out, an option strategy that I think, option spread that I think would be a good option spread strategy to be for the alert, trade, security trade, stock or ETF that's, either upside move or downside move. I'll also give a spread for it. But like I said, a lot of members will just do their own thing. They'll just buy calls if they think it's going to break to the upside, or puts. But I always will give you a spread, and then I'm going to monitor it and go through that spread and hold your hand all the way through to the end of it, until the trade is either closed out for profit or closed out on some kind of stop. All right, so that's going to be done for you as well. So if you look at it, to me the key to long-term success then is really being consistent and having more winning trades than losing trades. I mean, you could still have great success, with more losing trades than winning trades, but those winnings have huge gains, right? But I like to be less stressful, for people and for myself, whatever, with more winning trades. So this is the reality. With this reality in mind, the performance to date of the trade setups, which have been sent out through the alert service, have been very, very, very good, remarkable, as you've seen and will see. So what we send these out on is a free app called Telegram. So, if you're a member and you get the alerts, you will get the app Telegram. It's free, and you'll be, shown how to set that up. You set it up on your phone, or you can have it set up to your desktop. And then this will give you the text alerts. As soon as I, hit the button and send it, it comes out within seconds. All right. So it'll be a text alert. I give you kind of a cheat sheet to understand the pricing that the share the spreads, how they're worded for Thinkorswim or sent out. So you'll have that kind of cheat sheet. And so again, here's your alert trade service through 2026. We've got a pretty high win break-even percentage, 84% currently. So again, unaudited, but just kind of a summary of everything year to date on that. So really good. And then for 2025, was a year that the markets were all over the place, but we had very consistent win break-even rate of 79%. Closing out 151 trades, 101 winners, 19 break even, 31 losers. So win break even 79, again unaudited. So pretty decent, nothing to sneeze at there. And then since year to date, since inception back in 2018, running still around 79% win break even rate. So very consistent on these types of trades. Now, here are just a few to give you an example. If you haven't seen the alerts or seen the trades sent out, here are a couple that you can get an idea of what will be sent out and what potential is for these types of trades. These are the service for the butterflies or long condors that are sent out. And looking at the kind of the summary of these results since started this part of the service started back in May of 2019. So this through yesterday, we've had, again, unaudited, 254 trades closed out. Of those, 180 were winners, 23 break even, 51 losers. So win break even rate running around 80%. So really high winning percentage there. Now, these are going to be very, very defined risk, lower risk types trades based on this kind of spread. With the butterfly, we can get big, huge returns. You can get 2-to-1 up to 25-to-1 with a butterfly. Of all the different options spread strategies, the butterfly will give you the highest return on risk of any option strategy as far as the spread strategy. All right, so you have big, huge potential. Now, on average, the losses are maybe $75, over the course of all the different trades. So these are very low risk defined trades. So when I see market uncertainty, a lot of uncertainty, we can really fine tune and tighten up our risk. We'll typically go to butterflies and long condors. Okay, so these were really going to tighten the risk, but also though will give you potential for big returns on that lowered risk. So it's a great strategy, for any type of market environment, but especially when you get into really extreme uncertainty. So here's one that was set up not too long ago. This was on Tesla. Now this was a pretty interesting trade. This trade, when we set this up, this was set up on the 6th of May, and Tesla was trading at around 393. This was initially traded and set up as what I call a long binary butterfly. So it's kind of like what we call a lotto trade. So binary being you put it on, you're going to either win or lose because the risk is so defined so low. So without going through this whole thing to read it out, take a long time. The trade when I sent it out was to do this trade at around 25 cents or $25. Okay, so that's per spread. So this was going to be doing a butterfly trade. The 15 May expiration, 405, 410, 415, $5 wide butterfly at around 25 cents or $25. So the trade was so low risk that it's either going to be a big winner, or if you lose, you're going to lose $25, which is, not too bad. It's not going to destroy your trading account, right? Now this thing then started to rip up. So what we did, there were a couple of different adjustments, but I just pointed out a couple here because we did a lot of different things on this trade. So on the 8th, though, we ended up adjusting it into a long call condor. So this was kind of the final adjustment. So we done an adjustment before this, but then this was the final one. So we adjusted this to a call condor where we were then long. So here you can see it says, we had the butterfly on the 415, 420, 25. Said on this move up, it's going through the 420 short strike of the body. So we closed out, took profit. Either the option was you close out, take your profit as it was, or did this adjustment if you wanted to do this. So bought to close the 420, 425 call credit spread side, and then rolled up and sold the 442, 445 call spread. That adjusted it to a condor. So then we ended up with the long condor. And then on the 15th, this thing was ripping up. Now it's at 422.50. So this was kind of one of the final alerts sent out. Said if you're long the adjusted call condor, the 15 May, we adjusted this. We still had the 415, 420 call debit spread side of it, which was part of the butterfly originally. But then what we did was we closed out the 420, 425 credit spread side, rolled that up further to the upside to the 447, 452 and a half. And now we had this condor on, and now the trade was back up to max profit of $311 or 166% return. So even though, just kind of think about this trade was originally set up with the body of the butterfly at 410 right there. The market ripped straight through it and was at 420. So we salvaged the trade with this adjustment and ended up making over $300 on the trade if you had stayed with it. So here's just a quick look at this trade. This was a pretty cool trade. And so this is kind of, what you can expect, with the alert service with me, navigating you through the different situations, showing you the adjustments. So the original trade was set up here. We were targeting the 410 right in there. That was like a 200-day moving average. It just ripped. It gapped up. So it gapped up through there. We had the original butterfly there. So we did adjustment here, did another adjustment to that final condor. And then this was where the profit was originally taken out on finally the 15th when it was starting to pull back. So it went from 393 and a half, did one adjustment, 420, and then it was at 422 and a half for the final exit of the trade. So that was a pretty wild trade, but we worked it out pretty well. And so adjusted this in from that butterfly, which was originally going to the 410 strike right there, we closed out the short side credit spread, the 420, 425, and then added the 447.5, 452.5. So we did this really wide body condor, and ended up, an adjusted price of $187, but it was ripping so much to the upside and went out right there. So we had a max profit of over $300 on that trade if you followed the adjustment and stayed with it. So here's kind of where that was at expiration. So it turned out pretty much exactly like designed. And so we went from that butterfly, which was originally like this: 410, 420, 420, 425. We closed out this side of the trade, rolled the short strike up to this credit spread here, salvaged the trade, and ended up over $300 profit if you'd hung with the trade, which was 167% return on that trade there. Now, here was one this was a really nice one that we'd had on Google. This was back on the 9th of April. Google was trading around 316. And here was the, telegram sent out right here. It says new Google long, trading at 315.90, daily cycle low, retracement reversal off 200, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I go through all the other stuff, targets, et cetera. Do the butterfly, 320, 330, 340 at around $1.85, around. I mean, you're never going to get it exact, right? And then here is just the, alert to take profit. Now it's trading up to 341.20, and this was up, currently up around $810 per spread, right? Over 1,200% return. So these are some are home runs, some are singles and doubles, some are small losers, but some are huge winners. So here was the Google trade, just a quick overview of it. So got in here, did the adjustment here, and then ended up getting out there. Last profit take alert there on the 17th. And so here was the adjusted butterfly, kind of show you what happened here. So ended up with the 330, 340, 350. Okay, butterfly $10 wide there at an adjusted price of $63. And then that has potential then, $10 wide spread, $1,000 less your cost, adjusted cost there, potential to make 937. That'd be over 1,400% return. And this was, pretty close. This came out to right there, was trading right at the end. To show you going out, it was trading right there at expiration. So it was at 341.18 with the body of the butterfly target at 340. So this was up over $800. So it went from 63. That spread blew out to 873. Now it's up 810. Now, when you're in these trades, I'm sending you alerts to say, okay, if you've got multiple contracts, make sure you lock in a little profit, and if you can, hold, until expiration. So you're not going to hold the whole trade to expiration because it could be, all over the place, but you try to, manage it like that. But this ended up, if you were able to hold towards the end of the day or into the expiration, this was up over $800, 1,200% return on that adjusted trade there on Google. And then here, we do a lot of counter diagonals. So here's started this part of the alert service, which you'll have access to under level 3. Back in June of 2019, we've had 417 trades closed out, 296 winners, 31 break-even, 90 losers. Win break-even rate running about 78%. Unaudited, point that out. And then here, just a couple of quick ones here. Here's one that we still have on. This was a crazy one. This was on Alcoa, and we set this up on the 13th of May. Again, this was alert sent out. It was Alcoa was trading at 68.40. Did a couple of different adjustments. I didn't put them all in here. I didn't have enough room on this PowerPoint page, but on the 22nd we did adjustment. It was trading at 71.90, and now yesterday we had adjusted profit on the 29th. It was now trading at 77.64. So it was up Really nice on this trade. So this trade, when we started at 68.40, we originally did this as a calendar diagonal. Okay. And I'm not going to go through all the details of it, but we ended up at around $235 per spread was the cost there. And again, like I said, a lot of members will just do their own thing. So sent out the Alcoa, they probably maybe just bought the shares or maybe bought calls for an upside move. And then yesterday, the 29th, this thing was trading, went out up at 77.64. So that was the kind of a synopsis summary of the trade setup. And the original trade was based on the momentum right here moving to the upside. And what I was looking at here was, see, it had broken above that 50 simple moving average and I was looking at it to break these highs here, but it failed at those highs and pulled all the way back down here. We hung with the trade and did some adjustments, and then it just started to rip. It finally broke there and then really ripped to the upside. So what the trade, if you're in it, you're still currently in this trade. So I'll show you where it is currently right now. So we adjusted this trade into a call debit spread from the original call calendar diagonal. And let me pull it up and I'll show you where it currently is. Let me pull it up. This is Alcoa. So we had this originally set up as a call calendar diagonal, and then when it ripped up, did a couple of different adjustments, and now it's into a vertical call debit spread, or if you did the other thing that could have converted to Condor as well. But the debit spread went out. Nice upside profit here on Friday. The adjusted trade into the 70, 75, $5 wide call debit spread, adjusted price around 215 per spread, went out up, over $200. So, nice pop. And then, we'll see where it is. It has potential to make around 285 after the adjustment. And this expires this next Friday. So that's a look there, just to kind of show you what current kind of trade setup is. And then here's just one more to look at. Here was an Apple trade that we did, a calendar diagonal. I kind of flipped through this pretty fast. It was trading at 269. Set this up at around $405 per spread. And then we had, on the 20th, a couple of different adjustments done, and then finally closed it out, on the 20th as well. But here I'll just kind of one last trade. So this was pretty quick in and out. This thing ripped so fast. So got in right here and pretty much got out the next day. This thing was up so fast. So you can see where it was. So here it was on the 20th. It was trading at this point at 273.95. So the original trade before we did an adjustment, we had that spread on at $405, 405. That spread blew to 702. So this was a 267.5 long, the 24 April short, the 20 April 275. And then this was up, 297, so about 73%. But then we did an adjustment where we rolled up the long part of it. We sold. What we did was we locked in some profit on that 267.5 call, rolled up the long call, and then this is what adjusted the price down. So we had a better return. So then we rolled up the long call to the 270 strike right here and locked in some profits. So now we adjusted and reduced our price down to 165. And so now the spread had blown to 482. Our cost was 165, up 317 or 192. So the other thing with the alert service, a lot of members have learned these option trade strategies from just doing alerts and learning as they go and paying for their alerts. So that's a look there. Here's just one more. This was on Schlumberger. This was a really beautiful trend up. We did this with a calendar diagonal, and here was kind of initial profit. It was at 205, went to 356, up 151. And then here it was, we did a couple adjustments. Now we had the 50-56 adjusted trade, and it was trading at 53.42. So the spread now 380, our adjusted price 179, up 201. And then the other fun thing, sometimes we'll get a very nice selective, what we call the pinning trade. This was one that we had done on GLD, and this was another kind of binary, win or lose, $25 was the risk. And this was looking for a pin, a monthly potential pin to $400. So that's where we set up the body of the butterfly here based on this, and had a low risk trade of $25, a $4 wide butterfly, so $400 spread width, less your cost of the trade. If you got in at 25, potential $375, that'd be a 1,500% return. Came really close on this butterfly, and this was an alert trade binary kind of butterfly, so went out right there 399.74. So went from $25 to 331, up 306 per spread, over 1,200% return on that kind of binary butterfly there. So that's what you can expect and look for. And so here, let's just go through everything, take more questions. But if you want to take advantage of this, and I hope everybody here will jump in and become a level 3 member. And here's everything you're going to get. I'll just kind of go over the site. I'll give you a little bit of a tour of everything real quick. And I'm still learning my way around it as well. But use that link there and sign up today, $97 a month. And you'll get everything that you're going to see. I'll just kind of go through the summary again, and then we'll take a tour of the site. So here, you'll have access to the alerts, which will be 5 different types that I can send out, depending on what the market's telling us or giving us. 4 to 10 or more stocks or ETFs per month, calendar or calendar diagonals, selected butterfly or condors, butterfly calendar, pinning type trades, breakout reversals, earnings. So these are the 5 different types of category or services that are sent out depending on the conditions of the market and what I see. Now, then the other part is the forum membership. So this is the highest level membership, level 3. There are 3 levels, level 1, level 2. Now, level 1 is $19.97. I don't think really anybody here probably is more advanced. So that's going to be the bare bones, but it's still a great place to be if you want to get in. Then the next level up is level 2, which is $47. And I'll show you, you can go to the site if you want to look at it and see all this stuff. But if you do level 3, this gives you the alerts, and that's what I was kind of covering here today. But this will also, not only will you have the alert service part of it, now you'll have access to the live trading chat room. So this will be open 24/7. I'll be, coming in, monitoring in and out. Then we're going to do part of your benefits. We'll have a weekly live and recorded Q&A every Tuesday. This will be at 11 a.m. Eastern, and this will be in our live trading room. And then I will send, like I said, a daily list every day after the close. I'll give you my breakout and reversal trade setup list. This will be posted on the site for you to, look at, and then you can, get an idea if you like them or not. And then I'll also, though, do a breakout reversal trade video of the best stocks within that list. So I might, there could be 10 or 15 on the list, but then in the video will highlight the ones I like the best and tell you why. All right, so that's a really great thing. Then plus you'll get the alerts. So I do that. Now, as part of this, you'll also get my cycle reversal indicator. So that comes with this level 3 package. You're going to get my on-demand Get Started Trading Options course. That comes with the package. You get my Fibonacci price target mapping course. That comes with it. And then we're going to I'm doing a rotating monthly advanced option course or an advanced trading course each and every month. This month, starting out for June, it's going to be my option strategy guide course. And then you get a 50% discount on courses, software, and coaching that I have available on that. Okay, so that's everything there. So if you do want to tap into the alert services, you're getting basically what you're getting is my 4 decades of trading experience, my software that I'm using, my research to cherry pick these trades, only the very best for you guys and gals before the herd season. I'm hoping to get the trade setups and ideas out to you. And then I match the trade idea with the highest probability option strategy. But again, you can do whatever you want if you just want to do long calls or puts or stock shares or whatever works for you. So that's always going to be given to you. Then I outline the trade setup step by step with the best strike price, puts versus calls, or option duration side time frame to use. And then I follow and track the trade and send out updated alerts all the way from inception to the end of the trade. Okay, so I monitor the trade all the way to the end. So you get full service on the trade all the way from the beginning to the end of it, which are sent out by Telegram. So suggested options strategies sent out, entry level, profit targets. This is all based off of that price target mapping Fibonacci, which you're going to get that course. But option series, stop loss level guidelines, and then you can go back and review the trade. So here's one of my members from Kuwait. Actually, this was Walid. He said, Larry, I have to mention one thing. I'm subscribed to a lot of services who send out trade alerts. Some are good, others are not that great. But one thing I'd like people to know on this webinar is when I get a alert from Larry, I do it blindly, as time has shown me this man is dead accurate in his recommendations, Walid. And then Dan, like I said, a lot of members have just paid for their subscription based on what they're learning. They're learning as they go. So he paid for a subscription on the first four trades he did while he was learning to trade options. That was Dan. And the daily trading room, last day was last Friday. So I'm not, the trading room is not any longer daily in effect. So now we're just going to have from now we're going to have the chat room will be open. So I'll show you that here in a second. All right, so that's what you're going to get. So let's take a look here at, let's take a tour. So first off, let me just give you a quick rundown. So here's what it's going to look like, or we'll go through it and I'll show you. So this is the Power Cycle Trading Forum model that we just launched yesterday. And you're going to get everything I just kind of already reviewed and went over. And then I'll walk you through here in a second, just kind of showing you everything that is coming up. So first off, though, we're going to have the rotating course for this month will be my directional option strategy course for trading and reversing markets. So this is basically my option guide course. So what this covers is like a 5-hour course. And so this is, on demand. And the members, level 3 member, you'll get this at no cost for the next 6 weeks, basically. And then, we'll rotate to the next course, which I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. But this, on my site is $397. But if you wanted to buy the course outright and have it for, your library, it'll be 50% off that. You'll have a promotional code that you'll use. But this will be the rotating course for this month. And so this will go through, understanding the option, basics that you need to know as far as the Greeks, and then, how to choose the right strategy for the market that you're in, and the option strategy selection process in great detail. And then the go-to strategies in the course that I go over will be buying calls and puts, debit spreads, butterfly condors, and the counter diagonals. And then there's another section on hedging and management, risk management. So that'll be the course of the month. Okay, so you'll get that. That's coming up. And then you're going to get make money with options, or the start trading options today. So this is a nice intermediate option course that this will be yours for, when you sign up for level 3. So this goes through, all the option basics, what you need to know there if you're just starting out. Plus it covers covered calls. It covers the covered call and the collar, and it covers a vertical debit spread. So you get this course. This is a free course, or this is, part of your benefit. And then you get my Fibonacci price target mapping course. Now this course is $297 if you're wanting to buy it, or $397 for the price target mapping. But again, this is free to you as level 3. But if you were to buy it, it's $397 or 50% off of that if you're as a membership. This is my Fibonacci price target mapping course. It's a great course. It's what we use to target all the price target, profit targets up or down based on Fibonacci, moving average, standard deviation, unusual option activity. So this is going to be part of your benefits. And then you're going to get my cycle reversal indicator. This is part of your benefit to level 3, and this is available for Thinkorswim, TradeStation, and TradingView. No, the website, access to the trading room and everything will be shut down. We're not going to, the website will be still up, but I'm not going to have the trading room, anymore. So that will no longer be available or in action. But the Paracycle Trading website will be still open, but we're, as of Friday, we're launched into this new forum type of platform setup. So these are the things you're going to get, and then I'll show you around a little bit around the forum here in just a second. So we get the cycle reversal indicator. So let's take a look here. If you want to go here, let me show. I'll give you this link, and you can link over. And let me pull up the forum platform here. Let me find it here. Here, hold on. Okay, here we go. All right, so now this is when you come in. Now yours will be a little different, but here are the different kind of spaces they call it, and let me show you here. So it's a real simple, really nice little platform. All right, so what you've got here, when you come in, you'll see this Member Central, upcoming events, community, trade, membership levels, trade list. Okay, that's where you're going to get the trade list that I send out at the end of the day. And then with level 3, you'll get the trading video. And then if you do want coaching, I'm going to do a lot more private coaching. And then courses are listed here, indicators, alert service. Okay, so if you come in here and you want to see the member levels, click on that. Now, today I'm, promoting the level 3, which is $97 a month, but I do have level 1, level 2, level 3. Now, level 1 will be the lowest entry point level, and so with this, you're going to get you can see what it is down here if you click on that. You're going to get a one monthly Q&A live and recorded. So this will be the first Tuesday of the month. So this is $19.97. You're going to get my top trade idea list. So you'll get that, and then you'll be able to attend the monthly live and recorded Q&A. Now, the other thing too, this platform has what they call gamification. So it'll be a lot more fun, interactive. So if you do certain things, we're going to have kind of you get different points and things like that. So it's pretty cool. And I'm just kind of going through and learning myself, but then you can upgrade anytime you want. So you're going to get my weekly live coaching. That'll be you're not going to get that. You're just going to get my monthly. Okay. So this is the basic package. But for everybody here, I recommend that you go with level 3. Now, level 2 is 47. So with this one, You're going to get the live weekly Q&As. You're going to get my scan list, my video scan list, but you're not going to have access to the alert service. And that's the main difference. You won't get the alert service. So, but you can go through and see. So for the additional extra $40 or whatever it is, the 97 is definitely worth it, I would think. Now here's your daily trade list will be updated and put in this every day after the close trade list. So I just kind of, for example, have here, this is old, but breakout reversal trade setup list. So I'll add this every day after the close, and I'll have it dated. So you can come in there and click on that to see what the trades are on that. And then if you're level 2, level 3, you'll also have access to the video of those trade lists that I send out. So this was just kind of one that I put in there to kind of show an example of what you'll see, based on that. So that's there. And then if you do want private coaching, that'll be available, private coaching here. And then for the level 2 or 3, we'll have a weekly trading room. So this will be every Tuesday, okay, at 10 a.m. Central. Okay, so this will be a weekly, every Tuesday at live and recorded. So you'll have that. Then all the different courses that I've done, you're going to get started trading options today, Fibonacci price target mapping, that comes with level 3. So you'll get both of those. And then if you want any of the other ones, they're all listed here. My option strategy guide course. Now this one is going to be the rotating course that everybody will get access to. So only level 3 will get this. So you're not going to get this in level 2 or level 1. But if you want to then buy any of these courses, the option calendar, diagonal, butterflies, synthetic option course, earnings course, portfolio management course, directional trading course, pairs trading course. These are all listed, tells you about the course, and then the price of these courses, you get a 50% discount on those using your members code, which you'll get once you get your login. And then if your cycle reversal indicator, that comes with level 3, you get that as part of that. Now, if you do want the custom indicators, these are also available. My Power Cycle Trading custom indicators with all the momentum, indicators, the volatility squeeze, you can get those at a member's discount. So that's everything there. And then, here's all about the alert service. So you're just going to, read about it. I pretty much went through everything with you today. And then I'm going to, every week I'll update the performance. So here, the last time I updated this was on the 27th, but this will be updated every week as well, once or twice a week. So that's in there. You can come in here and see that. And then here's just, all the legal different ones, terms of service, alert terms of service, disclaimers, privacy policy there. Now, then the other thing, the big thing here is going to be the Member Central. When you get in here, here's the course of the month. Okay. So currently that's going to be the one I just showed you, the Option Strategy Guide course. And then you can see, here's the event calendar. You can see what then is coming up. So we just had we just did the webinar today. And then you come down here to community, and this is going to be 24/7. This is a live trading chat room. All right. So this is where you can come in, start, posting, and you can see what other members are in there. And you can see who's in there, who's doing what. You can start posting, in here. So there'll be a lot of, fun things to do. And then we're going to do, like I said, gamification. And so that'll be in there. So there's a lot of little bells and whistles that are pretty neat to this platform. All right. So that's a look there. So there's just a lot of cool stuff here. So I just kind of wanted to give everybody a good review of the alerts, what we're seeing in the market, and then, a little tour. And then if you want to use this link just to look at the site, you can use this link here. Let me post this to you. This will give you a link to this site. Okay. So use that. And there are going to be certain, if you use this link, you're going to have certain areas that are going to be locked that you can't see. Okay. But if you have level 3, you'll be able to see everything. All right. So that's kind of a good snapshot. Hopefully that gives a lot of answers to any questions that you may have had. And, I'll be looking forward to seeing a bunch of you in the room, hopefully on Monday. And again, I'm just starting to navigate through it myself. So here's the link one more time. So Power Cycle Trading level 3 right there. The other link, though, if you want to, you can just go directly to the site and start checking things out. But once you sign up to level 3, it'll link you into setting up your password and everything, and then you're going to be, on your free to go, right? So you come in here, go Member Central, get started right here. Welcome to Power Cycle Trading, tells you all about it. Some of the things we're going to have: private coaching, on-demand courses, about me, what members are saying, chat room guidelines, okay? And then you're going to see members only. So once you're a member, level 3, this will be opened up to you. And then you'll get the course of the month if you're level 3 here. So the course of the month is right here. And next month, I haven't decided yet on which course to do next month, but this is the one that's currently going to be available to everybody for the month of June and part of July. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Any last questions here today? All right. If not, have a great rest of your day. And like I said, I'll see a bunch of you back, hopefully in the room on Monday. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Ciao.